Good afternoon, evening, morning, whenever it is that you're watching this. I'm Deborah Roth from Spirited Living and the creatrix of this Inner Goddess Team video series that I've been doing now for, wow, at least a year and a half, since the summer of 2020. And delighted to have you back here. For those of you that have been following these, for me anyway, very yummy videos, I'm just learning so much. And I thought I knew a lot. I've been working with the Divine Feminine and with the goddess archetypes for 25 years and just always continue to learn new things. And I hope those of you who are joining me for the first time find value. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can just, go to YouTube and look for Deborah Roth if you're not watching this there. So, at any rate, I am thrilled to be introducing you, really introducing me too. This was a really fascinating journey for me, to the Hindu goddess Lalita. And all of these goddesses that I share with you each week are representations, are archetypes of the Divine Feminine. And there's now a video on my YouTube channel that talks about why we all need the Divine Feminine and why we all need to activate or reactivate our inner goddess team. And that will be different for everyone. It's not based on gender. It's really the qualities that you want to embody, or maybe that you do already, and you want to celebrate any goddesses that are associated with those qualities, like compassion, like honoring our intuition and our emotions, collaboration, cooperation, honoring nature, honoring our bodies. All of these are examples of divine feminine energy. So Lalita, I know a lot of Hindu goddesses. She is one that I have not heard of, and she is the mother of all goddesses. I have statues of Lakshmi and Kali and Sarasvati and other ones, but she was a new one for me. This is what she looks like, and you probably can't see terribly well, but she is the goddess of pure bliss. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her legend, and I'll post the link so you can read more of it, because I'm not a great storyteller, but I think I'll get the gist of it anyway. But she is holding 5 arrows made from flower stems and a goad, like what you push what you push goats along with, and a lasso. And the 5 arrows represent our 5 senses. And her whole story, her whole legend is very much a metaphor, a representation of all the spiritual pitfalls that we can run into, and how we can call on her and call on our own divine nature, on our own divinely feminine wisdom, to embrace and to move through these spiritual challenges and reconnect with our spiritual practice, whatever that looks like. So I'm probably going to read more than I usually do, because she is a new one for me, and now I love her. So Lalita, not Lolita, although it's interesting because she was, or it is, Lalita, the Hindu goddess, is the goddess of play, and she who plays is actually apparently what Lalita means in Sanskrit and in Hindu, and she is known for bestowing love and bliss and divinely inspired play for all of us. Kind of like, I've talked about Babo here from the Greek tradition. In fact, I just did that a week or two ago. And have also talked about Bast, the Egyptian goddess Bast. What's extraordinary for me about Lalita is that she is who all the other deities in the Hindu group of gods and goddesses, who they revere the most. And she's considered that she holds the power of attraction in the universe. So Lalita is who you would call on if you want to create sexual attraction in your life with a current mate, or if you want to bring someone into your life, but it's not, excuse me, which you'll hear when I tell you a little bit of her legend. It's not the kind of lust and lust for power and lust for money and that kind of thing. And she's known for vanquishing the demon, actually, who was trying to convert the world to his evil ways. So let's see, she's one of the greatest, she's in the great yogic goddess lineage. She is self-willed and independent, so a great one for all of us independent women, and known to be exquisitely sensuous, which I've mentioned. She's the Empress of Desire. The Kameshvari is what she's called. And she is eventually the wife of Shiva, of Lord Shiva. So I'll tell you as much of the story as I can recall and look at my notes when I need to. So apparently there is a point when Lord Shiva is meditating. Eyes are closed, but his third eye is open, and he inexplicably feels this wave of lust and can't understand why this is coming through him. He looks out through his third eye, sees that it's Kama, who is the god of desire, who's playfully shot an arrow of lust at him, not in a mean way, just playfully. Shiva is so incensed that he zaps Kama and he incinerates him. And out of the ashes of Kama rises this demon, Banda. Let me make sure that's his name, who represents the worst of desire. So it's, as I said, he represents all the things that are about power and lust in a nasty way, and he becomes so powerful, flaming with desire, power, wealth, and sensual indulgence. He becomes so powerful that he's destroying all good. Indra, who is the king of the gods, is told by a sage that he needs to pay homage, that he needs to bestow gifts on Lalita in order for order to be restored. And she arrives to do battle. And every phase of this battle represents, as I said at the beginning, a sage of spiritual self-purification and yogic practice and discipline. So on hearing that the mother of the universe is going to do battle with this demon, all of the gods and sages show up to watch this happen. And they're transformed by her beautiful face, and seeing her, there's a magnificent city that the cosmic architect has created for her. Brahma, the big god guy, sees this and sees her and says, there is no being in the universe that can be equal with her, no male being, no male energy other than Lord Shiva. So he sends out, and Lord Shiva hears the voice of Brahma, and he appears and supports Lalita in her battle against Banda. So one after another, Banda continues to throw all these forces against her, and she annihilates them one after the other, and each one is supposed to be the worst one that you could imagine. And he attacks with weapons of fear, illness, materialism, apathy, and destruction of the sacred teachings. Lalita responds with weapons of courage, of vibrant health, spiritual insight, active compassion, and selfless, enlightened spiritual mentors. So right there is your list. Jot those down of the things that you can call on when you need support from anyone, but this mother of the universe, Lalita, is a good one to get that. I'll repeat those for you. I got to remember these too. She responds with weapons of courage, vibrant health, spiritual insight, active compassion, and selfless, enlightened spiritual mentors. So if you're looking for a spiritual mentor, call on Lalita to help you find that. And finally, Banda unleashes and all along she's pushing them away, and he finally does the final battle where he releases perdition designed to rip human society to pieces. And she responds, from the tips of her fingers come the great saints who manifest on earth to restore order and enlightenment. So he launches the most finally after that, he's still around, just barely. He launches the final missile, the supreme delusion. So can you see how all of these really respond to different parts of a spiritual challenge, of moving through to get to a strong spiritual practice? And Lalita blasts it to pieces with her own missile called Shambhava, which is divine awareness. So I love all the metaphors with this. It just blows me away. And then the mother of the universe overcomes Bandha, which is selfish lust born from the ashes of love. Remember, from the ashes of Kama, playful God of desire. And then pure divine love takes its place. So I had to tell you the story because it's really quite extraordinary. Now, her image that I showed you, the five arrows that she holds represent our five senses. So we need to honor our senses in our spiritual practice. This is not a practice where it's, where the body is bad. It's very much about honoring all of our senses. The goad that I talked about, that's if we start to stray from the path, Lalita will prod you gently to come back onto your spiritual path. And if you really stray afar, that's where the lasso comes in. She'll come in and grab you and pull you back into your divine self, and in our conversation here, back towards your divinely feminine wisdom. So how do we invoke Lalita? I've given you some ideas of the prayers, of the invocations that you can make with her. Her mantra is probably, we know Om in the Hindu spiritual tradition. We know Aim, which is another very powerful mantra. The mantra for divine feminine energy and to call on Lalita and the mother of the universe is Hreem, spelled H-R-E-E-M and pronounced, H-R-I-M, pronounced Hreem. And literally all you need to do, you can do it with Ohms, and I'll just sing it a couple times for you. If you Hreem, chanting that will invoke all of these things that we've talked about, and for you to connect with Lalita. So you can sing with me. This one's an easy one. Hreem, 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 Hreem. Om. Namaste. So I invite you to experiment a little, to read about, and I'll put the URL for the whole story of her legend. And I've talked about this before, a Mother House of the Goddess is one of my other wonderful sources. So please let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. I love your comments. I'd love for you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check this out on Instagram if you're not watching it there. I've given up on Facebook Live because for some reason the sound's really bad. So there are lots of places to really connect, and I'd love to hear about your journey, your spiritual journey, and your story of connecting with this powerful energy of the Mother of the Universe with Lalita. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you again soon. Namaste.